I looked out in the world, and my whole life, I always saw how I wasn't enough compared to things I would see, right? So you'd look around in a crowd and you'd find the people who were more attractive, and you'd find the people who had more money. You'd find the people who had more confidence. You'd find the people that had more education. It's easy to find all these attributes. And funny, it wasn't always a single person who had all those, but you would find all of them and compare them to yourself. And somehow you weren't now enough, right? And everyone else, you look at all these people, they're well-dressed. You're like, wow, how do they afford all this all the time? They have nice cars. Everyone has all this nice stuff. And you're thinking, man, I have such a hard time getting by just to have the stuff I have. And you fail completely to see that everyone else is looking out in the same crowd, which now includes you, and is thinking the same thing, right? They're wondering, how does that guy get to manage all this stuff? How come he can keep doing all these things? How come he can afford to go on vacations? They don't know the story, but they just compare it to theirs. Okay, for me, it's an analogy with emotion. I think we're all moving through the world in a way, looking for recognition, to feel a sense of purpose, to feel a sense that our creative efforts are valued by something or someone, right? That we made a difference that mattered. And as we search to feel this way, as we search to have that experience, we're desperately looking for validation to come from the exterior world, right? To recognize our efforts, to recognize our talents, or to even motivate us to get started. And we want that. Everybody wants that. So everything we do is to try to earn that. Sometimes we'll work for 10 years to try to earn one compliment from a boss, right? So we really work for these things. It's the currency that every other currency is trying to mimic. And yet, it hasn't really been figured out, as far as I can tell, that it's the one currency you can give away honestly for free without losing your position. In fact, you only gain your position. So if we can afford just a couple times a week, and if you're even better, a couple times a day, to step out of this desperate need for people to validate you, and remember that everybody else has that same desperate need, and just honestly validate them. I'm not saying find a way to flatter them. I'm saying find something to appreciate that you actually do appreciate, and just tell them, right? Not because you want to date from them, not because you're trying to get something, just to practice appreciating other people so you can turn the model around. Because if people started actively giving the validation that we're all spending our entire lives trying to get, if it started coming, how much more could we all do?